so I don't know how I feel about that. I could run up here. There's cars. I don't know how I feel about that. So let's start on sand. Okay, stay in the shady bits. Catch some surfers. I've never run in sand before with shoes, so I don't know if I would say I'm particularly excited. But Mount Fuji is on the other side of that mountain, so I'm going to see how far out we can get. 3, 2, 1. I haven't run in a while. I've been moving. Got some aches and pains, some back stuff that I've been rehabbing. I definitely want to stay in the shady bits because I got sunburn. I know sand running's supposed to be good for you, but it just feels like you're not making any progress. So I'm going to see if I can find my runner's form. My hamstring doesn't like that. Now let's watch the surfers. There's a lot of them out this morning. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. Must have to do with tides or something. Let's try again. Thanks, Noah. So what I'm feeling for as I'm running is just impact on my lower back. If it starts to tweak, I walk. But I do want to start to get back into the groove. It's just been a lot with transitioning, moving houses. It's crazy. I want to walk. Yeah, my body's still not ready for it, but we'll see. Basically, I had to transition 4 kids worth of stuff out of a house with a very challenging deadline. And while I normally have superior lifting form, there was something that tweaked my back. So I've been rehabbing it in all the best ways I know how. And we're close to on the mend, but since that incident, I haven't run. And sand as a terrain is very challenging for me. So we'll see. Maybe I'll go up on the street and run. Yeah, let's try it. I can still hear the beach sounds. Because basically I gotta be very careful with my form if I do any kind of running right now. It smells like sawdust. They're building something. I love it. Now, I hate running my cars. Let's hit a deadlift. Start our hips through, tuck them in. See if we can jog a little bit. That feels better. You can tell it's not going to be a best of both worlds kind of day. I could choose walking on a beach, jogging on a trail. things are creaky in my knees and my back. So maybe we'll go a mile. Cool. It's underground parking. That's fancy. But Mount Fuji is right on the other side of this mountain. So we gotta either find a way to cut through it or go around it. And then depending on the weather, you should be able to see Mount Fuji. But we're recovering from a back injury. It's hot. We're sunburned. So whether or not we make it to Mount Fuji is to be determined. Yo, what's up, Kai? Kaizat? Is that what I said? Kaizat. Welcome to Japan. We're in a prefecture called Kanagawa. We're attempting to run to Mount Fuji. Well, not to it, but to see it. But I am nursing a back injury, so we'll see how it works out. But we're in a sleepy beach town called Kamakura. I think it's going well, making good progress. I mean, I can't complain, right? I get to look at this while I run and chat with you. And we'll see. I got a big ass mountain ahead of us to climb though, so we'll see how that works out. How's your day going, friend? What part of the world are you in? Sorry for the camera shake. Normally I have a GoPro on my head. That first person view y'all love, but today I'm on vacation, so the best I got is a shaky handheld phone. Whew. Definitely sore. Indiana! Indiana has its charm. I'm from Chicago, so I'm a long way from Indiana. But Indiana's a running joke in my family because we had family members that lived in Tennessee. So to get to Tennessee from Chicago, it's a long drive. I think it's like 8 hours. And while a reasonable portion is in, Illinois, the longest portion is through that ridiculous state, Indiana. And what's amazing is when you're on the highway and you cross from Illinois into Indiana, there's like a big board that's like Indiana, crossroads of America. So it's literally like the only value in the state is your ability to cross through it to get to a state you actually want to be in. That's our running joke. I mean, I'm sure you have something nice besides corn. You're from Chicago? No way. That's fantastic. Dude, that dog is so much faster than me. What the heck? It's okay, I just gotta run my own pace. Yeah, Chicago's a good time, good food. I'm technically from the suburbs, but I identify with Chicago. Well, it's nice to meet you, friend. Although, your name does look familiar, so I'm not actually sure if you've been here before again. But yeah, welcome to Japan, everybody. Enjoy your nice beach run while I suffer. It's the first run since messing up my back. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Yeah, my name's Joe, and welcome to the frenzy of my world as I learn how to raise 4 kids in Japan. It's pretty wild. Our family relocated 12 times over the course of 1 year to get to Japan. I worked for Johnson & Johnson on surgical robotics as an engineer. And I moved out to Japan to connect with surgeons, understand their unmet needs, and then direct a team of innovators globally to develop new technologies on their behalf. Super cool job. But I was impacted by organizational restructures. And after only like 2 years and a couple months here, I was offered a job back in the US. But they changed the location to New Jersey, which is 14 hours from our family. Living in Tokyo, we're still 14 hours from our family. And it was a role I had done prior in my career. So it's kind of a net loss after everything we've been through to get here. So I exited about a week ago. So we actually just finished moving a 13th time to get out of a J&J lease. Sounds super interesting. It's been wild, friend. So we've been definitely enjoying life out here, but the instability from Johnson & Johnson from a job security perspective, super challenging to navigate as a family. So it's been an area of challenge. But I'm a week into my exit so far. We gotta stop and look at this as I gotta breathe. And we're getting settled in our new digs just down the street. I'm gonna lean on this because it looks, oh, that's so nice. Look at it. Sunrise. Have you learned how to speak Japanese? Yes. I studied Japanese in college. I'm not very good at it, but I can get by. This is so beautiful. So this is only like an hour from Tokyo. But our transition's taken months of deciding whether or not we'd go back to the US or stay in Japan, how we would do that, how we would maintain visa sponsorship. Let's walk for a little bit. Oh, let's stretch. Tuck the core. I'm so proud of myself for getting out and running again. I wrecked my back when I was moving. And I like train pretty consistently with long distance running and strength. So it was a bit of a surprise to wreck my back. So this is like one of the first runs, trying to get things put back together. Yeah, concerning Japanese, like, 大学生時日本語を勉強しました。でもよくわかりません。Like, I studied in college, but I often don't understand. But this is a really nice area. So if we get around this bend, if I have the stamina to keep going for all of you, you hopefully should get a peek at Mount Fuji. It probably won't be the clearest view, just because the horizon's a little cloudy, but we should be able to see Mount Fuji. So that's the whole quest, friends, the 9 of you that are here, is if you can encourage me to not give up and go back where I came from, which is right under the sun. We went all the way along this, and we're like there. And there's another cove, there's a series of coves over there. But if we keep pressing forward, we may actually see something cool. And we can talk about life and parenting in Japan and all the other fun things going on. One of the things I do like about Japan, which is so common, I don't know if it's a price difference or something, their brick and stonework is epic. Like, I don't know, I feel like in the US this would just be like a crappy sidewalk. Not always, if you go to like nicer areas with a boardwalk, sure, but like, we're in like a lazy beach town, okay? It's not like we're on a boardwalk. They got like a pattern and crap. It's awesome. So I don't know if there's a different availability of stone. Although, in Japan, like, the perception of quality is really a big deal. Like, there's always a desire to seek higher quality versus pure economic utility. So that is also a factor. You build things to last and be functional most of the time. Weird exception, though, is housing. It looks super cool. It is. It's awesome. As well as these, like, wave breakers are so fun. It's like Tetris. But, no, the housing in Japan's weird. They're different because houses are like disposable. So in the US, like if you're buying your first house, which I did, you buy, I was gonna say cheap, but cheap is the wrong qualifier to put on housing right now based on inflation and Joe Biden. No, I'm just kidding, it's not just Joe Biden's fault. It's everyone's fault. The whole system sucks. We can talk about politics, but this is so funny. I don't know enough to have an opinion on that, but there's not the same housing crisis in Japan. It's actually the inverse. Most houses go down in value unless you live in very strategic areas. And the reason being, Japan has a negative birth rate. Well, this is a nice looking cafe. Good location too. I could take family out for a little lookout. Up there looks fun too. That'd be a cool place to have a house. But they have a, what do you call it? Like an inverted birth rate, so there's lower demand over time. So there's just tons of like abandoned homes in Japan. And culturally, most people don't restore broken homes. It happens. There's still remodelers and things. But I want to take this little walk out to the pier. This is nice. And like, because of earthquakes and changes in codes and things, like houses go down in value. So a lot of times they will just bulldoze the house and build another one. So they're almost built to be somewhat disposable within reason, because building materials relative to the price of the land, there's like a nice inversion there. But to the 10 people hanging out, thanks for the like. Appreciate y'all. We're running to see Mount Fuji, which should be hidden right behind that bend. So I'm gonna see if I have the endurance to climb that hill. Now there's lots of runners out here getting their best, so I'm thinking about starting again. Fisherman Steve out there Getting some fish. This is beautiful. That's a big hill. I did not like the look of that hill. Alright, you're welcome. I appreciate it so much. So, Kai's is that. How do I say your name? Because it is a marvelous name. There's so many vowels. Sorry, welcome. No, you're fine. All right, let me stretch. I'm gonna twist my back. Twist it the other way. Getting old. Do a deadlift. Tuck my tailbone. Suck in my core. Here, you can watch me shadow run. I'm not very fast. I'm like 300 pounds. Okay, so 6'3", I'm a big man. But after vacation, planning on locking in nutrition, so we'll see where we land. Should be fun. Bro's just fixing a wheel. These breakers are epic. It's just random letters. I was trying so hard to say it like a word. It's fantastic. So how's Indiana these days? Anything exciting? You live in Indianapolis? Or my favorite state, my favorite city, Gary. Gary the snail. Drive through Gary all the time. Ooh, we go low or high. Is that even a choice? If we get around this big rock, we should see Mount Fuji. Hopefully. I think I'm gonna go low. But if it's a dead end, I'm gonna be pissed. That means I gotta run back and run up this thing. It's like a secret pedestrian tunnel. I can dream, can't I? I'm right next to Gary. What a wonderful, wonderful place. No, I'm just trolling. You can build a good life anywhere. For our family, we picked Japan. But where you start is where you can end up. Or you can always make a shift and go somewhere else once you get the right skills. But there's a dead land. Oh, there's a path. Look at the mountains. You won't see nothing like this in Gary. It's just flat and corn. It's actually one aspect of Japan I love is the ocean mountain vibe, especially when you get outside of Tokyo. But it's funny because in Japan, these cliff sides and everything, they're like normative nature. So what I mean by that is like, I don't know, they're used to seeing it all the time. Oh no, stairs. Why stairs? No. But it's normative. So we had a friend who's actually like a pastor at a church that we used to serve in Wakayama, which is, I don't know, about 6 hours south of Tokyo. And he came out with his family. But even before that, he came out and like backpacked across all of the U.S. All we could do, let's go see Fuji. I see the side of it. We can make it. And he backpacked across America. And he loved like Illinois and Indiana and driving and it just being like, and whoa, it's amazing just to see so much wide open space. In Japanese would say hiroi, which means like big and open. And it's like beautiful and awe-inspiring. And for me, I was like, but it's just corn. It's corn and dirt. But living out in Japan for almost 3 years now, I appreciate it, because if all you see is ocean and mountains and everything's tight, you never could just look out at something vast. So it's a beautiful lesson on perspective. Whew. How was that, Mom? Ooh. Secret path. But Susan. Oh, wow. Where are we wilfering? Ah! There's spider webs. Oh, God. Oh, he keeps going. Frick. Oh, how excited I want to live forever like Oji-san, so let's climb. Oji-san just means grandpa. He didn't look it. That guy's probably 80 years old. Almost to Mount Fuji, maybe. Oh, it's a gazebo. It's so peaceful. We climbed a mountain. Did you plan on climbing a mountain today? Oh, it's so nice. We could sit down, but we can't. There it is. Found it. Mount Fuji. It doesn't look much from here. You can tell people clearly jump this. But, yeah. That's the peak. Right there, as promised. Took you to Mount Fuji. I'm so hot. I'm so tired. Why the heck do we climb this far for that? Just kidding, it's beautiful. It's a great lookout. It's something my wife and kids will likely never experience, because no one in my life runs but me. I don't know why I do these terrible things. But no, it's super pretty. And then there's just more beach town kind of falls around. That little peninsula right there looks kind of neat. But if you want to see Mount Fuji, like if you come out to Japan, you can climb it. You have to time it. It's super challenging and hard. I wouldn't recommend it unless it's something you like super care about, which some people totally do care about. But near the base of Mount Fuji, on one of its sides, is something called Lake Yamanakako. It's a mouthful. It's hard to spell. But, man, I'm sweating. It's cool. Here, you want to see me for a second? Hi, friends. But anyway, it's called Lake Yamanakako, and they have a half marathon. You have to book it like almost 6 months to a year in advance, especially if you're trying to internationally travel for it. I just missed it this year, which bums me out. But I didn't know if I was going to be in Japan or not. Anyway, it is the most beautiful run I've ever done in my life. It's on my YouTube channel. If you just search, like, go to my channel and go to the search bar and type like Yama, Y-A-M-A. You should see something like Lake Yamanakako. It's gorgeous. And it's right at the base. There it is. It's right at the base of Mount Fuji. And there's like this perfect diamond shot you can get where it'll be Mount Fuji on one side, and then in the lake you get a full reflection if the sky's clear. Let's do a lunge stretch. Thank you, bench. All right, so let's start with a walk down these stairs. I'll try to walk with good form for a bit. There's still a lot I'm working on based on the back instability. But as promised, I took you all to see Mount Fuji, so no complaining the rest of this live. Though I'm sure all of you will leave immediately now that you saw a very faint triangle in the distance. It counts. It's not clickbait. I did it. It looks really nice. Thanks. Kaizat. How do I do the X before the Z sound? Like xylophone. Zizat. But Xi is because it's XY, right? It's not a lot of good X. Z, xenophobe, is XE. The Z sound is Z. X is Xi. So is it? It just feels like it should just be a long Z. Should it just be a ZZ sound? Just gonna call you Harold. You seem like a Harold. Thanks for being here, bud. I'm just trolling. Oh, I wish there was a water fountain. But yeah, it's a beautiful, cozy cove. Nice shot of Fuji. Oh, is there a water fountain? Oh, but then I gotta walk past that guy and his dog. But it's water. I might have to be social, talk with other humans. I always try when I do my lives to go out super early. Like, I don't do like live streaming in like Japan and crowded areas. Because like people are just trying to get through their flipping day. You don't want to show up on somebody's live unless you want to show up, but you don't really know. So I always try to be courteous of it. And Japan has like a very restful, quiet culture at times. Depends on where you're at. There's lively cities and bars and things. But like on the subways, it is normative culture not to talk. Alright. I'm gonna try to speed walk, get my body moving again. Woo, we caught a breeze, but we got a lot of sunshine running coming up, and we have sunburn. Meanwhile, Rocky Balboa over there's killing it. Da-da-da. But if I had to guess, we're probably doing about 2 miles. Doesn't feel 5K worthy, but maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit. I've been live 32 minutes and I ran a good portion. Maybe we are closer to a 5K. Oh, we stopped a couple times. My name's Ben. Ben 10, what's up, bud? How's it going? You're too young for Ben 10, I would guess. How silence. Nice to meet you, Ben. Now, if you could also share your last name, social security number, blood type, I should have everything I need. Just kidding, don't share those things to strangers. But my name's Joe, now we're not strangers. It's like one of those scenes from all those creepy movies of like adults tricking kids. It's just wrong. The internet's so messed up. But hopefully I used to watch Ben 10 too. That was awesome. Ben 10's fantastic. I mean, later seasons were alright. But like, especially that first season, I thought it was awesome. Alright, I'm going to do a couple deadlifts. That's something I do to calibrate my form. I'm going to try to take the momentum to jog down the hill to the peninsula. I'm not committing to running the whole thing. I'm just committing to a little bit of work. Tuck the core, suck it in, lean forward. Look, we're running. I mean, coming off a back injury, it's pretty cool. Okay, I'm proud of me. I could be asleep right now or eating a whole bunch of cupcakes. Oh, because then I'm out here hanging out with Ben 10. It's awesome. And if he subscribes and clicks the little notification bell and shows up to my lives in the future and reminds me, eventually I will be able to lock in that KYXZAT is bent. That's super impressive. Thanks, bro. But yeah, I've always been a larger guy. I played American football in high school. I was a lineman, pulling guard, one of the most glorious maneuvers. It should be illegal based on how dangerous it is for a 300-pound man to hit like a defensive cornerback at full speed and blindside them. You already did what? Oh, you're a legend. I'm so excited to get to know you more, Ben. It'll be fun. Come by anytime. Let me know how I can help on your journey. But, so I've always been kind of a bigger but athletic-y build. And as you have kids and get busy with a day job and ride a desk and live a sedentary lifestyle, you lose athleticism. And over time, without realizing what you're choosing, you start choosing pain. So like, I had really severe back issues, had 2 compressed discs that would bulge and push on my spinal cord. Creates nice sharp pain. It's great. I could only run 400 meters to half a mile. And when I was doing exercises, I was engaging the wrong muscle groups because of some neuromuscular issues, which was really vulnerable from a form perspective. It's getting hot, it's getting sweaty. And I was getting epidural shots. So I don't know if you've ever delivered a baby. Based on you being named Ben, I'm gonna assume you haven't had a child. But, well, I mean, I birthed one yourself. But, I'm gonna walk for a minute. But, sun's killer. Give me a cloud. It's gonna overheat my phone if I'm not careful. But, by the way, if the live does die suddenly, it's a phone heating issue. It's already close to 100 degrees. Probably around 93 Fahrenheit. And, but when you're delivering a baby and the pain's really, really bad, they can do a procedure known as an epidural, where they take a needle, they go through your back, between your spine, and they inject a very strong narcotic, I think it's a narcotic, pain numbing medication, and it cuts off pain below your waist. The pain's still there, you just can't feel it because the signal doesn't make it up to your body, because you're like having a baby. I was getting epidurals like 2 times a month for back pain while doing 3 years of physical therapy. Like, my whole journey was a mess. It's based on being obese, being previously athletic but in high impact sports, progressing towards poor eating and a sedentary American lifestyle. And like, I was on a pathway towards spinal surgery, and I just didn't want to do that. I was like, this doesn't seem like things are working. So that's when I really leaned into physical therapy. I also got like an online coach who put me on a program. He's another content creator called Musa Boot. So he's great, he's from Canada. Great guy. We met through Among Us, of all things. Among Us and Twitch, and shared friends. And then I started training for half marathons. And eventually, after running, I think I did 2 half marathons solo. Then, I'm gonna start jogging again. Then I started training other people for half marathons. So I created something called the DadBod program. It's free. What's that? It's called the DadBod program. It's free. Basically, I put a GoPro on my head and I ran and then filmed my workouts when I would do strength. So it's 3 days of running a week, 3 days of strength a week for 112 days. From day 0 to running a half marathon. And I wanted to make it accessible to our community. So right now, it's all hosted on Google Classroom. And then Then eventually I'm going to migrate it to a platform called School, because I'm looking to create a class on School called One-on-One with the Pretentious Engineer to help people progress in their career, basically helping engineers find their way through life, which degrees to pick, which opportunities to pursue, which areas to upskill in. That should be pretty wild. We could take the water side. I'm gonna take the shady side just to see if I can cool down the camera. Get it up, direct sunlight, as well as myself. We're almost back. We're making good progress. Oh, shady side. Let's go. Woo! I hate the heat. I'm an ice man. But you can't let the seasons and the weather block your progress. Now you're doing one-handed push-ups. Love it. Dylan shreds. Yo, welcome to Japan. We're in Kamakura. It's about an hour south of Tokyo. It's a beautiful beach town. Can I sub? Of course you can sub. I would never stop you from subbing. That would be the kindest thing ever. If you're feeling crazy, you could join the Big Brain Club. You get a fun few emotes to play with. But welcome. I'm just out here running in Japan. Do it all the time. Even though I'm a big man. How are you? Oh, it's gorgeous. Now, I want to work on expectations versus reality, Fred. Okay? If you sub, you're not going to get beach running every day. I'm on vacation. But I do run along a beautiful river in central-ish Tokyo. So you still get water sounds. How far can you run for? I mean, the farthest distance I've ever done is like 24.1 miles. I trained for a half marathon in a lesser known city called Champaign, Illinois. It's a college town where I went to college. And they have a beautiful they have a full marathon. It's flat. I was running the marathon, but it started raining, and then there's aggressive thunder, and the police canceled the run while I was on mile 24. They literally drove in their motorcade from the finish line towards the racers and made everyone get off the track and walk home. And I was like, bro, the fastest way home is just finishing these last 2 miles. So I never got the medal. Still bitter. Bro, that's very impressive. But now, as a 32-year-old, global leader with 4 kids living in Japan, running's still a part of my lifestyle, but I've adjusted the distance just because getting out to that level of mileage takes so much freaking time. So I do half marathons, and I've been kind of in a gap because we just had our 4th child. I didn't want to actively train for one. Dang, I know. I'm still bitter about it. So I normally train for half marathons, but when I'm in a gap between races, like right now, Mondays are my long runs, so and that's when I live stream. So I normally do 5 miles one week, next week 6, next week 7, next one 8, and then I repeat 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, because it's a good mid-sized distance. The 5 milers are kind of light, and energizing at this point. They're still challenging for sure. 8-milers take like 2 hours. So that's a decent amount of time out on my legs. But what it means is if I find a race that's convenient, I could then up from the 8 to like 9, 10, 11, 12. And a half marathon is 13.1 miles. So if I train up to 12 miles, adrenaline takes you the extra 1.1. You have kids? Yeah, I got 4 of them. They're 7, 5, 3, and 4 months. You guys want some beach? Let's finish with a little beach walk. What are their names? Kai, Akari, Emiko, and Akio. They all have Japanese and English names. Whew, beautiful out here. Yeah. We'll see how long the phone holds up. It's getting really warm in my hands. We're almost at the end anyway. But I like to prime people that are hanging out, especially if it's their first time on the live. Just because I feel rude not being able to say goodbye appropriately when technology fails me. And I always love the opportunity to connect again on future lives and get to know folks. Dylan Shreds, how are you doing, bud? So are you in fact shredded? Have you reached peak physical performance in your life? I'm shredded on the inside. And a little fluffy just in case there's a rainy day. You know, like a global nuclear winter or something. I might make it a little longer than others on the reserves. That's cool, bro. Yeah. But this is a nice beach town. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. Just because, like, peak beach, in my opinion, there's 2. One would be Okinawa, which we've gone to as a family. It's about a 6-hour flight from Tokyo. It is truly an exceptional island in many ways, as long as you know how to traverse it and rent a car. The other one, which is about a 3.5-hour flight from Tokyo, it's called Nanki Shirahama. Oh man, someone forgot their beer. Oh, that's so great. I'm so no, doesn't meet my needs right now. Of course, bro. Well, congratulations on your shreds. It's marvelous. It's always fun running with sunburn, right? It's like a big brain idea. Oh, I love this boardwalk though, it's nice. Yeah, there's a whole gaggle of surfers out here. And then these are all kind of like a mix of restaurants and clubs. So if you were an adult who can make adult choices without children clinging to you, this area from like 9 p.m. onward would probably be fun. 9 p.m. onward for me and my wife was like, oh, the kids are in bed. We can talk for 40 minutes before we get tired. But vacation changes. I do some running also, usually about 5 to 6 miles a day, but sometimes I do 5 to 6 a day. I think it's fantastic. It's great cardio. Do you just purely run? And what I mean by that is like you set a distance and you just go? Or do you do different kinds of running training? Like for me, I like to mix it up. So Mondays I do my long runs. So for their success looks like distance. So every once in a while, like if form's getting a little tweaky, because I have various back and knee issues that I'm still working as a 32-year-old. I'm going through like knees and toes protocol and stuff like that to figure it out. But success is just making it and setting aside that time doing the hard stuff. But then Wednesdays I do like low intensity recovery run. So, and part of that also is a little bit more meditative, coming from like a faith context for me. So I'll go do a short distance, like 2.5 miles. Halfway through it, I'll go sit by the river, think about life for a little bit, pray, and run back. One sec. This looks yummy. All these are healthy choices. And then on Fridays, those are my hell days. And I think everybody, if you're trying to make progress in life, it's important to give yourself at least one hell day. where it's just bad. And you don't pretend it's fun. And you don't pretend to like it. But at the same time, you got to make it like a non-negotiable. So for me, my hell days are something called fartleks, which I highly suggest if you're running, especially if you're running that consistently. Stay on the grind. So fartlek, it's basically interval training applied to long distance running. And I've modified the protocol just a little bit because I like it. So I started with my half marathon program that I put people through, where we would walk on low intensity for a minute and then light jog as people are learning form for 30 seconds and then eventually a minute, minute and a half. So you just keep giving yourself a 1 minute recovery, and eventually I started intervaling up the jog. Once I got people moving with that and they felt like they could run safely and start doing the long runs and the recovery runs, then we changed the low interval to half marathon pace. So I intentionally make the bottom interval my target half marathon pace because it helps me kind of lock in a rhythm. And then I'll keep that recovery as a minute. And then I do high interval is just running faster than half marathon pace. And that's all success is like a spike in heart rate. Not necessarily a spike to the same level. It is a little bit wobbly sometimes. But I'll go 30 seconds. On the high intervals, I'll go 30 seconds, 1 minute, minute 30, 2 minutes, 2:30 really starts to suck. And then 3, I've pushed up to 3.5, and then I pyramid back down to 3, 2.5, 2. It's just awful. But when I started, I can only pyramid up to like 2 minutes, right? So it takes time. But the reason I like that training is because I focus a lot on, I do like Wim Hof breathing coming out of the high intensities to re-regulate overall like heart rate and breathing control. So I'm set up for those intervals, set me up for if I roll my ankle on a run or hit a flight of stairs or a hard hill or it gets hot and I'm tired, like all these things that can disrupt your flow state as a runner. Fartleks busts through all that. So it just gives you better resiliency to be able to lock in a pace and go. Otherwise, your long runs, if you don't train anything harder than long runs from a pacing perspective, you try to fit everything into that workout. I have to go so far, I have to go so hard. And I like to be able to simulate crap happening during a long run so that I could always check the box on the long run. Fun, my running goal is to do 5 miles as a base distance. But by the end of my run, if I have a little more energy, I go a while longer. Oh, that's wonderful. You got it all figured out. That's what's up. Yeah. A little by little, you know, it comes with experience. And like, I figured out what works for my body. And then I do strength 3 days a week. So that hits Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Moving into a new house because we just moved homes. I'm not set up to live stream. Prior though to moving, I would live stream the lift days as well, but I was doing it, what did I call them? It was funny. I called them Gym Crush, where basically like I would find someone who's entrepreneurial that I appreciate, like Orzomi or other folks, not just listen to like an hour entrepreneurial productivity podcast while lifting. So I get like my motivation, my brain fed, and then I would get some challenge from the lift and some encouragement from the community. Angry Peanut Head, yo, what's up, friend? Welcome, Dylan. I hope you're enjoying vacation. Thank you so much. Dylan, did you subscribe? What? Wait, is this the Dylan I know? Hello, Dylan. I can't see notifications because I'm just on my phone, which makes me feel like a really bad content creator, live streamer person thing. Because normally it is, dude, you paid $6. What's wrong with you? You got to put that money somewhere else. No, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for dropping by. This is Kamakura. So it's about an hour south of Tokyo. Friends, Dylan is like the best. He made my job out in Japan fantastic. Great partner. If you're looking for a quality engineer who also speaks Japanese, which I don't know why out of the 8 of you here, you would need that. But if you need that, Dylan's the one. Oh, overall very solid person. But yeah, vacation's going well. So we took the exit was super rocky and hard. I like tweaked my back on the last day of the move because I just had to get so much cleared out of a rather large home, moved into a very small Japanese home. We have a 3-bedroom with 4 kids, so it's going to be a hoot. And but it'll be fun. And like they were showing up to like clear out the house, like to see if we're going to have to pay a whole bunch of money or not. And I was like actively moving stuff from the garage. So I still had like a workbench set up and a whole bunch of tools and crap. And they're like, we can't sign this out if there's furniture inside. I was like, the inside's clean. So they just like zeroed out the house, let me close the garage when I had to leave. But in all of that like chaos, I was like, during the walkthrough, I was covered in sawdust because I actually attacked my like nice DIY shop table with a circular saw and an oscillating saw. Yeah, like a little vibrating one. And I just did some zip cuts. I cut the legs off of it and I turned it into a rock wall for my kids on the fly. So now we have a rock wall. It was a beautiful shop table, but someday I'll make another beautiful shop table when I have a garage, when I have a shop. But yes, Dylan, life is going well. Thanks for dropping by. Thank you for joining. You are the first person that I know of who has joined the Big Brain Club on YouTube, which is super epic and much appreciated. So thank you, friend. It's awesome. All right, so this beach, I would give this beach right here like a 6 out of 10 from like a swimmability perspective. There's all this driftwood and crap that keeps coming in, so technically people are supposed to just like surf out there. Bro, there's like 2 Dylans here. Oh yeah, there's Dylan Shreds. Dylan with an I and Dylan with a Y. This is so nice. Oh, I'm so glad I've started going live again. It's been a while since I've chatted with folks. We got 3 likes. Very nice. But content creation is definitely going to become a source of income in the nearest future. I'm looking to create a class on a platform called School, that's spelled SKOOL, where I'm just going to make tons of like digital classes of everything I've learned over the last decade in global leadership and engineering at Johnson & Johnson. So that way folks can progress in their careers faster. I'm going to try to price it at the same level as Netflix so that if people have cost constrictions, they can just quit their Netflix subscription for a month, learn what they need to learn to do better at their job and get paid more, and then quit my platform and join Netflix, or do both. But my hope is to put out like a new class every week, which is really aggressive actually, for scripting, filming, editing. I want to make like modules, so each class will have like 9 modules. The first one I'm doing is called How to Say Goodbye. So it's looking at how to exit a company well and strategically. Soup! Dude, thank you so much, Dylan. Yeah, so it should be pretty crazy just to see how this all works out. But yeah, I wasn't offered the right job. They were trying to move me back to the US after our family moved 12 times to get here. And eventually you can reach discernment to make impossible decisions that other people wouldn't. And it's like a muscle you can grow. So I want to figure out ooh, nice echo. I want to figure out what's my secret sauce, because I kind of know it. Because a lot of the people I've spoken with about our transition and choosing to stay in Japan on behalf of family, they still can't understand it. And a lot of folks have told me, like, I just don't have the risk tolerance you have. Like, I wouldn't be able to make those same kinds of choices. And I just don't think that's true. I think every person's life is different, right? We face different experiences, different things we need to navigate. But I think you could still build the skills. Secret sauce. Yeah, I know, right? I hate that term. I'm definitely not going to use that in my class. I'm in cool down walk time. We're just in a nice little town that I like talking, so I'm going to keep talking. But yeah, eventually there'll be like a link in the description for a wait list for that. And then once I start once I launch it, then you'll get priority if you're on the wait list. And then I'm probably going to do what's more called like high ticket consulting. So the class will be like low ticket, which means it's priced accessibly to people just looking to learn and grow in their own journey from my journey and kind of find their way as leaders. And then what I'm trying to figure, I could do for like 1,000 USD, which is like, oh, for a lot of people, it's like, oh my God. I mean, even for me, that's like steep. So it's like hard for me to ask that level. But I got to feed 4 kids. No, it's not that. I want to provide more than that much value to someone. So what I'm thinking about doing is that would be like 4 one-on-one sessions to help uncover the essence of who someone is from any leadership, any role, to just figure out, like, help them discover themselves as innovators. And then it looks like you're in an anime. Well, anime is a depiction of reality, right? So like, this is what Japan looks like. It's great. But like 4 one-on-one sessions with someone, and I have a lot of different tools to kind of help them figure out where they've been, who they are, and where they're going. And then the 5th session, I want to actually like equip them to aggressively up their video presence and their ability to communicate to a digital audience, because a lot of leaders in larger organizations have to learn how to influence and communicate with teams that are global, and a lot of them suck on camera. So it's like a very niche thing. But if you learn how to be good on camera and learn how to communicate succinctly, then when you're giving a presentation, whenever you make your technical work shine better and you get advanced faster. Let's try for a minute. So like, I'm interested in like making, because I've been a live streamer for 4 years now, content creator for about 3. I've done around 1,600 videos. And there's like a really simple toolkit that people could like set themselves up with the right gear. And if a lot of folks expense this through their corporate stuff, then like they'll look better on any Zoom, they'll feel more confident, they'll be able to lead better. So I want to end it with the 5th session. I get them set up, and then we do like a podcast together, because I know all of their rich background, the essence of who they are, and then I give them a platform to have a really enriching conversation that people learn and grow and are inspired by. And then that gets given back to them, where when they're applying to jobs external or even internal roles, they could be like, hey, super excited, give a really specific cover letter. Also, I was recently on this podcast with the Pretentious Engineer. If you want to hear a bit about my backstory and reason for my passion with quality engineering in Japan, here you go, or things like that. So that'd be high ticket. And then if I could close 10 deals a month on that would be 10K a month. And across, I have to pay US taxes and Japanese taxes and international schooling for 4 kids. So while that seems like crazy money, that would be like the cusp of making it financially. Housing, we got housing right-sized, which is good. But like each kid's international schooling, I think it's around 20 to 30K a year. So that's kind of the plan, is I would put that out as more of a like one-on-one experience with me. And then if there are other side things I can do that are niche to my skill set with marketing, leadership, and engineering, that would be higher ticket. But I'm excited to see what I'm capable of now that I'm exiting J&J, because J&J is a wonderful company. I gleaned so much from my time there, and advancing solutions with Heal is just really cool. But I'm excited to dabble across a whole bunch of different technology spaces and really shift my focus of bringing value to people because those people bring value to organizations and advance innovation that heals and helps. So it feels more scalable to me, of setting my focus less on doing and more on sharing and guiding. At least that's where I want to go with it. But half y'all are just here to see cool Japanese houses, which is fine. That'll happen too. But maybe you'll learn something. Who knows? Oh, it is hot. I got a shower. But I'm glad that I got up early enough to beat most of the direct sun. Climbing that hill to see Mount Fuji, that was a little aggressive. So if you scrub back in the live, because I'm just about to finish up here and go be a dad. If you scrub back on the live, you can see Mount Fuji. It's a little tiny triangle, it's cute, but we ran to it and it was a climb. It kicked our butt. All right, friends. Anyway, especially Dylan and Dylan Shreds, thanks for being here, as well as Ben, Kai, Zat, Angry Peanut popped in for a second. All good times. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for working out with me. And keep changing the world, my friend. Dude, you're a great guy. You too, Dylan. Appreciate you. All right.